As the state of social media is getting more complex, the stakes for having a strong brand presence are higher, and trying to reach the decision maker is even more challenging. How do B2B and agency-centric brands create content that breaks through the noise within the LinkedIn platform ecosystem that also converts into tangible ROI? I Digress is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. By shedding light on the stories behind the shiny resumes, social media highlights, and job titles, No Straight Path, hosted by Ashley Menzies Babatunde, aims to humanize success from the millennial perspective. Featuring guests from all walks of life, No Straight Path aims to inspire conversations around the nuanced perspective of success. How do you define success, overcome failure, and endure life's unanticipated challenge? No Straight Path covers all of that and more. Recent episodes like Success is Maximizing Happiness, Finding Your Voice, and Success is Communal is all intent to help you see all the different layers it takes to be successful and what success really means in a modern era. Listen to No Straight Path wherever you get your podcasts. Compelling content that converts consistently into tangible ROI requires speaking the right language to the ideal audience, reaching the decision makers and earning trust, a solid content engine for effective distribution, and standing out in a niche industry to gain top-of-mind real estate. Regardless of what industry you're in, what product or service you're selling, or whom you serve, all brands are now de facto media publishers. It is not enough to simply target specific titles, company sizes, revenue, and geolocations on LinkedIn, create and schedule content to just run and think that basic LinkedIn strategy alone will drive new inquiries, mentions, comments, and conversations that matter, that make you more money, and make you more profitable.
What's up, digital world? You're listening to the I Digress audio experience with Troy Sandidge. Social media, marketing, storytelling, business, culture, and more. Coming to you in 3, 2, 1.
There are 4 main reasons your social media marketing isn't working for LinkedIn. You're making a lot of noise, but no one is listening. Your copy isn't clear and doesn't position you to be in high demand. You simply aren't posting and engaging enough. And lastly, you are not using LinkedIn properly for the goals you want to achieve. So how do we turn LinkedIn content and connections into referrals and business deals? Unless you're among those that want thought leadership or LinkedIn top voice status, I did that in air quotes, I think it's safe to say we all want our social media marketing, our content marketing, and overall marketing efforts to contribute to making our business more profitable and our brand more successful. Most people turn to LinkedIn because of the specific users on the platform, the type of aura and energy there, and for most executives, it's the main platform they use and understand the best. Maybe you've been creating content on LinkedIn already, but you're just not getting the results that you want from your efforts. As I already talked about, there are 4 main reasons your social media marketing isn't working for LinkedIn. Let's dive in deeper into the 4 reasons. You're making a lot of noise, but no one is listening. You could be speaking to the wrong people, and you're not talking to the actual decision makers. You aren't showing proof of concept with your content. Or maybe your content, to be frank, just isn't good enough. Just isn't good enough as you think it is. And you just need to do better. The second reason, your copy isn't clear and doesn't position you to be in high demand. Let me ask you a question. How well do you know the needs of the people you want to attract? And is what you are doing aligned with them? Are you talking in only acronyms and business jargon and what competitors are saying? Or are you actually talking in simple speak? Does your content convey what you do and who you do it for clearly enough? You could be technically saying all the right things, but as I've said time and time again, it's all in a foreign language to them. The third reason, you simply aren't posting and engaging enough. You posted on LinkedIn. Congratulations. You updated your headline, you made your profile public, you linked your business profile, you added a little summary, you turned the creator profile on. Congratulations. You want a standing ovation for that? This world moves at light speed, where we are scrolling thousands upon thousands of times a day on these screens, whether phone, tablet, computer, even TV. But I digress. We have to get the word out consistently, because there will never be a time where everyone will see your posts. 90% of the people literally forgot whatever you posted about a week ago. 90% of the people probably didn't even see your post recently. And of the 75% of those who have seen your posts, probably forgot about everything you've talked about 3 months ago, 6 months ago, and surely a year ago. You think your customers, your ideal audience, your community is just supposed to remember every single thing you say all the time and make it like core memory moment? Nah, bruh. That's not how this works. Repurpose your best content and continue to share it frequently and often. Now, don't spam, but keep sharing your content. And lastly, number 4, you are not using LinkedIn properly for the goals you want to achieve. Let me be clear. LinkedIn is a bridge, not a destination. If it stops at following, liking, and commenting, but never leads to off-platform conversations, then you aren't approaching LinkedIn properly, at least from the intent of doing business. This is a process. You can't just drive people to have a meeting if they don't know who you are, what you stand for, and how you help, let alone if they don't even know you exist. Build awareness, establish identity, prove expertise, share knowledge, nurture engagement, spotlight others, cultivate community, and ask intentionally. It's time to take control of your social media marketing. Stay organized, save time, and easily manage your social media with Agorapulse's inbox, publishing, reporting, monitoring, and team collaboration tools. As the ecosystem of social media is constantly changing, constantly evolving, social media managers and their counterparts need a one easy-to-use solution loaded with powerful features to help them navigate the digital world. One tool for publishing, scheduling, monitoring, listening, and reporting, all inclusive, all at your fingertips, with over 31,000 social media managers using this tool daily. Agorapulse packs a ton of features on a unified social inbox, intuitive publishing, social listening, insightful analytics, and social media ROI, where you can easily see what posts and conversations are driving sales, leads, and traffic, and that's without being a Google Analytics expert. With some of the best support in the business. Rated number 1 on Capterra, number 1 support on G2 Crowd, 96% user satisfaction score, and a 30-minute response time. With that amount of support, an all-inclusive turnkey one-platform solution with some of the best pricing for growing teams, you can't lose. And as an exclusive for the I Digress podcast listeners, you can get 2 free months using the Agorapulse tool for free at social.agorapulse.com/findtroy. The link to the 2 free months, more information about Agorapulse, as well as some key insights I've shared on Agorapulse's social media pulse community will be in the show notes. I don't know if anyone noticed, but LinkedIn just did something very sneaky. They just changed one of their icons to be a repost icon, which if you look at it closely, it resembles the retweet icon on Twitter. Now, we all know retweet is a big phenomenon to push engagement and conversations. Well, LinkedIn is now trying to get you to repurpose and reshare content that you see valuable, whether it's yours or someone else's, and then add insights, thought, commentary on top of it. They are trying to keep you on the platform to share content often. So many times when I help clients and they're like, I don't know what to post about. I have content ready, but it doesn't feel like it's enough. Y'all spend an hour a day. You can chop it up into 10-minute intervals, 6 times a day. Scroll LinkedIn, follow intently, and see various individuals who make sense to reshare that aligns with your business or is a good piece of content or information for your audience. I always suggest repost with copy and don't just repost with no copy, because reposting with copy gives you an index and gives you some energy and some efforts and some brownie points with engagement versus resharing what someone else has said. You don't really get engagement and conversation from that. Now, we talked about the 4 reasons your social media marketing probably isn't working for LinkedIn. But maybe you're like, well, this is great, Troy. But I mean, why are we talking about LinkedIn? I'm on Twitter. I'm on the gram. I'm still making my money on Facebook. It has went through a million changes, but I'm still making my money. I built my list. I built my community. And if you are making money on Facebook, kudos to you. Keep doing you. But for those who are still like on the fence about LinkedIn, let me share some stats with you. According to research by Sprout Social, LinkedIn content marketing generates 277% more leads versus Facebook marketing alone. Now, I'm not trying to trigger the Facebook people. I'm just sharing some stats. In addition, when it comes to particularly B2B marketers, LinkedIn was responsible for 80% of their social media leads and conversions. And yes, even though MAU, which is monthly active users, isn't the biggest, it's about 320 million. In retrospective to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, though, endless debate of if YouTube is technically a social media marketing channel, but I digress. The audience is a very focused group that, if done correctly, can serve as a surplus for increasing network, community, connections, and of course, your bottom line. Here's a few more stats just to kind of make it more clear of where LinkedIn is going. According to research by Sprout Social, LinkedIn exceeded $1 billion in ad revenue last year, while also increasing organic engagement. Source on research shows that 41% of all millionaires use LinkedIn. According to HubSpot, LinkedIn content marketing generates 277% more leads, almost 3 times higher than Twitter and Facebook. Orbello compiled survey results reveals 70% of B2B marketers are increasing their organic social media efforts. And research by eConsultancy stated that LinkedIn is now responsible for a staggering 64% of all visits from social media channels to corporate websites. And rest assured, that number has increased for today. So why does any of these stats matter to you? Let these stats prove and debunk the myth that LinkedIn is just a professional network, and instead accept the reality that it is a potential gold mine for businesses and brands looking to expand their authority, increase their influence and community, boost their searchability, prove their insights and POV within their industry, and ultimately drive new business. Would you mind doing a quick mental exercise with me? It'll only take a second. Imagine for a moment you're at work and suddenly you and your team are perfectly connected. I mean, perfectly aligned, 100%. There's no miscommunication, nothing falling through the cracks. You are totally 100% in sync, a collaborative, intuitive, and motivated force of nature. How does that feel? Pretty good, right? HubSpot helps you and your teams connect so you can always be in sync. With shared access to the same customer data, you and your teams can see the full customer picture. HubSpot's powerful CRM platform powers you and your teams to fiercely collaborate and power exceptional customer experiences so you can scale fast together. Learn how HubSpot can help your business grow better at HubSpot.com. For those who don't know, I recently created this new system called the LinkedIn Authority Writing System, which is an assembly of proprietary systems, messaging and positioning concepts, psychological techniques, marketing frameworks, distribution best practices, and copywriting methodologies tested and proven among C-suite and executives, B2B and tech organizations, and industry leaders who desire to elevate their content marketing and ultimately their brand that breaks through the LinkedIn algorithm to connect with ideal customer profile for effective results. In layman's terms, I created a trademark branded system that helps executives get more effective results on LinkedIn through copywriting. I created this system for No Middle, which is a content marketing firm that approaches content from a psychological POV to build content engines helping multi-million and multi-billion tech and B2B firms go to market fast. Full disclosure, I'm also the CEO of this content marketing agency. And over the past 12 months, we have learned a lot that can be very effective for social media marketing managers to implement in building their copy, positioning their messaging, and executing on social media content, specifically on LinkedIn, to get more results. Thus, the LinkedIn Authority Writing System. But before we go into that, I want to take a step back. Many times people ask, well, I don't know what to post about, specifically startup founders, executive leaders. The problem most of these individuals have are, well, I don't know what to write about. When do I post? Who should I be talking to? Where should I point them to? How do I measure and quantify success? How do I replicate and maintain success? A big part of the reason most marketing strategies fail with LinkedIn is that the platform is a personal user-focused first platform, meaning that personal accounts get more reach, impact, and engagement than business accounts. So while social media managers can run the gauntlet on business channels, on various other channels, and get effective comments and engagement, and hopefully a good amount of social ROI, when it comes to LinkedIn, you really have to build the personal brand of the individuals that work at the organization. Therefore, your executive leadership, your C-suite, your marketing team, your sales team, or anyone who doesn't mind having their face being shown and sharing thoughts that matter to their ideal audience, you have to write content for them consistently in their tone of voice that makes sense for them to attract individuals that align with what you offer, what you sell, and what you provide. And it's a combination of a discoverability, searchability, and nurturing technique process. But the thing is, revenue expectations from content are increasing astronomically, with pressure rising for marketers to create content in higher quantities that achieves the big, audacious goals. Getting the buy-in is absolutely critical to successfully building and launching a content marketing plan that will increase the authority of the executive leaders and help improve trust currency. And so if we talk about these things and think through this very thoroughly, the reality is half the battle to really an effective LinkedIn marketing strategy plan is getting the buy-in from the executive leaders or whoever on your organization needs to be out front on the front lines, bought in to creating content that's going to help achieve all of these things. Jay Acunzo created a solution that he called the green smoothie problem, which is trying to get the buy-in to make the moves that you need to make. He says you need to get the answer to the following questions. What do they want? What are the goals of the CEO executive leadership team? What do they believe about what they want? What do they believe about content marketing? What do they believe about LinkedIn? What is your reasoning? What are the steps you're taking to reach their goals, their aligned goals? What is the unfair advantage? What skills, what tools, and what expertise will help us reach our goals? And lastly, what will success require? What resources, help, or commitment do you need from them to make this work? The better you're able to pitch your marketing, your copy, your strategy, the why behind why we need to do X, Y, Z, the better you'll be to get to where you want to go. Now, let's fast forward back to the LinkedIn Authority writing system. Now, here's what typically would happen in the content creation process for LinkedIn specifically. We have this CEO or this executive leader. They're very smart. They have a lot of things to say, but they don't have no time. They're very frantic. They may be very technical in task marketing to write it. Now, you have the marketing team. The marketing team, as what it seems like always, but I digress, is on an island by themselves. Now, the marketing team has the structure, they know how to do the distribution, but they probably need someone to do the specific content writing. Sometimes that's directly in the marketing team, sometimes that's separate. So then you have the content writer on an entirely different planet by themselves, trying to pull up last copy that the CEO said that they liked from a newsletter or from a video, and then try to reframe it as their own and align it. And you get this whole pish posh of countless interviews, meetings, drafts, and like 125 edits later in a Google Doc, nothing gets done. And then you get the dreaded question from the CEO, well, didn't I just send you all that content? Those interviews, those screenshots, I like this, what this person said, just repackage it for me. The marketing team's ready for the content writer. The content writer doesn't make sense in their voice. They're trying to do the best that they can. You had all these revisions and you just spent 2 months getting nothing done. And honestly, the copy is just basic. And so here's the final results from that process, that time-consuming, outdated process for LinkedIn. Inauthentic content that looks like a corporate robot wrote it, but I digress. No personality, no emotion, no engagement, no ROI, no brand presence, and no one thought for a split second that that was actually written by the author. No one thought that. Not a soul. Sounds familiar? I'm sure we've all been caught in the middle. At times trying to get content ideation, marketing, and distribution going, but the final results didn't achieve the intended goals, if you were even able to get content created in the first place. So here's how to write for LinkedIn that actually works, that we utilize in the LinkedIn Authority writing system. Post content that actually sounds like you. That sounds like the executive, that sounds like the marketer, that sounds like whoever the profile is that we're writing for. Make it sound like them, their nuances, their tone. It has to make sense. Start with one post a day. 3 times a week and increase from there. I know. People get lost in the semantics of the literalness of 3 times a week, 3 times a day, 3 times a month. Start somewhere consistently and work your way up to daily. And then if you're already doing daily, add more posts to the daily regimen. So if you're doing 1 post a day, gradually get to 3 posts a day. The emphasis I want to stress is the granular increase of content distribution versus waking up one day and now you're writing 10 posts a day for 3 weeks straight. That sounds like, ooh, great in theory, but it turns people away when they haven't been able to process what you are doing. Text content should be 80% of the time, period, full stop. The remaining 20% can be very visual, whether that's video, carousels, images, but I'm telling you, text content is the way to go. It is the quickest way to drive, and it has a long shelf life. Another thing, schedule content on the weekends. Many executive decision makers engage on Sundays. So I know it's like Monday to Friday, but that's not how executives think. Yeah, you may be open 9 to 5, but they're consuming on the weekends. They're deciding, who do I bring on to help me grow this business? I need to have a strategic partner. I need a marketing arm. I need a product. I need a CRM. I need all these different things to help me run my business. Maybe that's your product. Maybe that's your service. Don't miss out on not sharing content on the weekends. Long-form content has always proven to work best. It's not about length. It's about interest. Reshare content, adding your own spin, and including folk to the conversation. Just don't spam. Please just don't spam. Set up notifications or use social listening tools to keep tabs on those creating content to engage. And lastly, focus less on hashtags. I know. Focus less on hashtags. More on substance, storytelling, and visual groupings with your posts. What do I mean by that? Storytelling and substance is going to matter more than any hashtag they use. I almost recommend if you don't have a hashtag that makes sense, don't even use hashtags. Don't even use them. Structure your posts to be more of a visual experience, white space, alignment, small bursts, bullets, various things to help you process the copy better. They do perform well. Trust me, I know. Additional strategies that you can incorporate into your LinkedIn content marketing strategy plan: engagement on your current and past posts, as well as aligned content creators. Increase all of your metrics from engagements to mentions to profile views and connections with your ideal client profile. What do I mean by that? Basically, engage frequently and often with your past self to bring your past content to current so people can see it and engage with it. You can repost, you can reshare, you can add comments, you can tag people in comments, you can add links, you can link to other LinkedIn posts and your future posts referencing to past posts to give you this content index, right? All that's going to help revitalize old content. And all it takes is one person to comment, like, or engage with that post. And now people are going to see it again. And so, yes, creating new content is exhausting. But repackaging and repurposing content already created that works well for you is the way to go. Seriously, the whole point is to avoid sounding like everyone else, a robot set to broadcast only, and create an infrastructure where authenticity with an emphasis on achieving trust is the focus, all while pulling content to distribute consistently, playing the long-term game. But I just wanted to give you the baseline of how can you, whether you're a social media marketing manager, you're a marketer, or you are a person of one writing content for your own profile, for your own business, use LinkedIn as a utility, following the LinkedIn Authority writing system to drive social media. This is how you'll start seeing success and a boost of your engagements, mentions, profile views, connections, requests, and your LinkedIn SSI in no time.
And that's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Digress. What was your takeaway? Care to share your thoughts and tag Troy on social media? You can find him on all platforms at Find Troy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review or comment for this episode from wherever you're listening. Looking for a marketing strategist to build the structure, strategies, and systems you need to get the success you want and the ROI you desire in your business? Book a discovery call to talk with Troy at findtroy.com. And as Troy's philosophy goes, imagination is the engine, content is the fuel, social media is the highway, marketing is the roadmap, sales is the destination, culture is the GPS. Thanks for listening.